Okay, this time I've got no fancy risk-reward analysis for you guys. This recently discovered invincibility exploit in Halo Infinite is just straight up broken and needs to be patched as soon as possible. And I understand drawing attention to this might be kind of risky, but my only intention here is to hopefully encourage you not to do it, to explain how to counter it if it happens to you, and to ideally light a fire under 343's butt to address it more quickly. Now, note that I've never attempted this in matchmaking, and I don't plan to. But as far as I can tell, it's very easy to do. If one of these batteries are in a down position and you sit on it and crouch, depending on where you're sitting, you are completely invincible to any projectile. Gunshots, nades, whatever. Obviously, very game-breaking. I think what's happening here, as far as I can tell from speculation in the comments, is it has something to do with the fact that these objects move up and down and with online connection. I think if you're sitting on it and crouch, because the pillar is technically in a different position, depending on who, like the player's perspective and their connection to the server, I think the game thinks you're inside the geometry when you're sitting there. So you're basically just shooting the wall when you're shooting at them. The only way to circumvent this, if somebody's doing this to you, is to get up and melee them. If you melee them, it'll do full damage. If you got a hammer, sword, whatever, it'll do full damage. So if this is happening to you, which hopefully it's not, get close, just avoid the angle and get a melee. That's the only thing you can do. This, of course, is already circulating online, and 343 are aware of it. There's a post on Reddit that they've already replied to. There's clips on Twitter, and I'm sure on YouTube as well, so don't worry. They are aware of it. Obviously, there's nothing I can say that'll completely stop people from doing this. I get that it might be kind of funny, but if you are actually abusing this, like, straight up, just don't be a dick, bro. Be a reasonable human being, please, right? Like, that's all I can really say. If you see it happening to you, treat it like cheating and report the person. Also, if for whatever reason this doesn't get patched immediately and someone tries it in a tournament, good luck. This is absolutely illegal. You will be forfeiting that game 100%. The best thing we can do in the meantime is just hope that 343 addresses this quickly, and I'm confident they will. In general, it's pretty interesting how this came about in the first place, right? Like, this section of Recharge is very unique. The fact that these, objects move up and down on their own, there's no other map like this. And honestly, this is one of the most interesting sections of a multiplayer map across all their maps. I would like to see, like, from a conceptual standpoint, I would like to see a lot more of this in our maps. It's so sick how it works too, right? Like, if it's at the low position, it's perfect curb slide height for a fast rotate. If it's at the high position, it just improves map flow. You can easily crouch jump off of it to get up to the shock rifle. Even if it's in low position, there are skillful ways to clamber up to the same ledges. It's just an interesting dynamic, and your gameplay changes depending on the heights of the ledges. Honestly, features like this are a big part of what makes Halo's multiplayer so unique and exciting. Like, in the past, we had a lot more lifts and teleporters, and I encourage more features like that. But of course, from a developer perspective, you can start to understand some of the, unforeseen difficulties that can come with making a section of the map like this. I'm sure this was probably the most challenging part of the map to develop, and something they're still going to have to clearly work on. So in the end of the day, when stuff like this comes up, I would recommend just try to be constructive, like, with your criticism. Let's not, like, crucify 343 for a little thing like this. Hopefully they fix it quickly. If they don't, maybe you can bring out the pitchforks, and that's why we're making this video. But in general, we both, ideally, I think we want the same things. The developers and the community just want this to be a damn good game that succeeds. Unintended mechanics in general in video games are pretty interesting because sometimes stuff like this just creates happy accidents. Like, look at combat evolving weapons today. I guarantee you in Halo CE, the devs didn't know that you could combat evolve a sniper and ricochet it off 3 walls into your hands, right? Like, the depth there created a mechanic that became like a foundational part of Halo's multiplayer. And that's also why you see me making 20-minute discussion videos on the snap slide, right? Like, some of these unintended discoveries deserve that risk-reward analysis because we might realize that the mechanics inclusion might benefit the game in the end of the day. And some of this stuff is just game-breaking. And today, this is clearly game-breaking and needs to be patched. So that's all I got for this discussion. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Let me know what you think of why it's happening, if you got any interesting theories. As always, if you like content like this and want to see more of it, then hit like, hit sub. I got to give a big thank you to everybody that gave me a super thanks donation on my last video. You guys are goats. You're incredible. Thank you. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it means a lot and it motivates me to make more content. It's totally optional. There's a super thanks button under the video. You can press it if you think this video or my content brings you value and you want to, give me a little something for it. I would appreciate it. Either way, I'm out for now. I'll see you guys in the next one.